Over just the last 72 hours, so 3 days, I figured out how to tap into effortless creativity. But before that, I wasted 2 entire years of my life where nobody recognized my creative talent. And that left me feeling kind of miserable and quite frankly broke. But then I applied the learnings from 23 different scientific papers, revealing what makes the greatest artistic creatives dominate their fields. They each rose to the top in their own ways, but they had one habit in common, which I want to show you how you can simply copy and paste into your own creative work. But before we can simply replicate the greats, we need to identify what type of creative are you. Starting with Leonardo da Vinci, the creator type. Creators are visionaries. They push boundaries and challenge conventional thinking, and their biggest fear is to be mediocre. To make creative obsession effortless as a creator, you need to follow your natural curiosity and deeply understand what makes you create better. To creators, knowledge and innovation is what aligns most with their creativity. But if you're the creator type, you're prone to something that we all know far too well, and that's perfectionism. Da Vinci spent over a decade perfecting the Mona Lisa to fully understand the human anatomy to achieve realism even by today's standards. Da Vinci understood that creativity is oftentimes a slow and grueling process, so he was actually an extremely slow worker. Obsession doesn't mean that you have to rush the process. A key trait of the creator type is to have the freedom to create. Hence Leonardo's wide range of skills, from understanding the human anatomy all the way to painting. Da Vinci's obsession taught me that being a great creative is about allowing your curiosity to guide you and training your mind to see the little details that others may miss. But what if you want to be a great creative, but you're a little bit less structured? This brings us to our next type of creative, the rebel. How does creative obsession manifest when its intent is to disrupt rather than innovate? There's only one creative that I can think of that represents the rebel so well with his uncompromising vision. Kanye West. Love him or hate him, canceled or not, Kanye West is a genius. Rebels are really similar to the creator types in the way that they want to push boundaries and challenge conventional thinking, but their desire to do so stems from their strong sense of independence. If your greatest fear is to be immobilized, unable to express yourself freely, then you're likely the rebel type. I personally identify as the rebel type, and although rebels can have sometimes a huge ego, they also improve extremely fast at their craft. This improvement fuels their ego, and they get obsessed with creating because they want other people to truly recognize their vision. Having a unique vision and always improving sounds amazing, right? But rebels are also extremely self-destructive, extremely emotional, and sometimes one small slip up can mess them up for months, if not years. My experience with being the rebel type hasn't always been good. I've made huge strides in my career early on. I started designing at the age of 12, and I improved rapidly to the point where I actually dropped out of design school. I thought I was too good to be going to school or working a job, but for 2 years after that, I got stuck in the biggest creative rut of my entire life. That's because I had these self-sabotaging tendencies that rebel types tend to have. But I've slowly been able to escape this rut because of what I've learned from rebels like Kanye. As the rebel type, our conviction and our determination is what leads to the most pain, and that slows us down, but it's also the thing that fuels us to keep on going. The only way through is through, and our obsession comes from brute forcing past all of our failures and hopefully learning from it. But what if your personality is the exact opposite of a rebel, calm and collected? I introduce you to Yayoi Kusama. She was born in 1929, and to this day, at age 95, she spends 8 to 12 hours every single day obsessed with creating art. She once said, "I love painting so much that nothing else matters." She's truly obsessed, and the type of creative that she represents is the sage. Sages are like philosophers, seekers of truth, wisdom, and knowledge. I really can't think of a better example for the sage type of creative than Kusama, because she literally gave up everything to create art. In the 1970s, she willingly checked herself into a mental hospital where she still lives at to this day, creating art at a nearby studio on the daily. Her reason for doing this is to not only help with her OCD, but to dedicate her entire life to gaining knowledge and wisdom through her art. But this pursuit of wisdom and understanding can also lead to the biggest fear that sages have. They dread being ignorant and unable to understand life to its fullest potential. This obsession oftentimes leads them to isolation and loneliness because all they want to do is find that truth. They feel like the only way for them to express themselves is by creating art. But that's also what makes their creativity effortless. Their art is an extension expression of their mind, and to be a sage is extremely rare because you need to be one with art itself. Kusama once said, "I create art for the healing of all mankind." Her desire to change the world outweighs any need for personal gain. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned one habit that each one of these creative types have, and that habit is obsession. You don't just become obsessed overnight. Obsession is a combination of focus and utilizing your strengths and understanding your weaknesses to effortlessly create art every single day. Now that we've explored 3 famous examples of the different types of creatives, the creator, the rebel, and the sage, how can you obsessively create for yourself? Here's a simple framework that will allow you to become incredibly creative in just 3 days. On day 1, I want you to identify your creative type. Spend some time looking at your past creative projects and really understand what drives you, what motivates you to create. Are you more of a visionary like Da Vinci, pushing boundaries and seeking knowledge? Do you thrive on challenging norms and expressing your independence like Kanye? Or are you like Yayoi Kusama, seeking deeper truths and wisdom through your work? I've also found that journaling prompts are incredibly helpful. You can answer questions like these. Doing this will help you align with the key traits of the creator, the rebel, or the sage. This will help you understand the natural strengths that you already have. You can align with those, lean into it, and create effortless obsession. Once you've identified your creative type, focus on leveraging your strengths. For creators, follow your natural curiosity. Dive deep into learning new skills and knowledge. Embrace the slow process of mastery. For us rebels, we need to harness our independence and unique vision. Use our emotional intensity to fuel our creative projects. Sages, seek wisdom and understanding through your work. Look to create meaning and impact with your art. But you also need to identify the weaknesses of your creative type and develop strategies to manage them. Creators, allow yourself to make mistakes. Combat your perfectionism by setting realistic goals and meeting your deadlines. Rebels, manage your impulsiveness and emotional volatility by practicing mindfulness and reflection. Create a support system to keep you grounded. And sages, avoid isolation by connecting with like-minded individuals and sharing your insights. Balance introspection with social interaction. You don't need to overdo it. Once every 2 weeks or every month is fine. Great, now you know what to work towards, but you need to dedicate time every single day towards improving at your craft, whether it's drawing, painting, designing, whatever it is. You need to make it a daily habit. Consistency is key to developing your skills and maintaining creative momentum. But how do you actually create using your skills according to your creative type? The first step is to set a clear intention. Define what you want to achieve with your creative work, whether it's to innovate, disrupt, or seek wisdom. Having a clear purpose will guide your efforts and keep you motivated. Secondly, break down your goals. Break your larger creative goals into smaller, manageable tasks. This will make the process less overwhelming and help you track your progress. What gets measured gets managed. Third, embrace your obsession. Allow yourself to become fully immersed in your creative process. Embrace the obsession that drives great creatives. Visualize yourself as a great creative and get into flow state. This means dedicating focused, undistracted time and energy into your projects, pushing through challenges and continuously seeking improvement. And the fourth step is to reflect and adjust. At the end of each day, reflect on what you've accomplished and what you've learned. Adjust your approach as needed and stay aligned with your goals and creative type. Alright, I truly hope this video helped you. My name is Martin. I'm on a mission to help you unlock your creativity and monetize it.